Hey, good morning, guys. Today we're going to do something a little bit different here on DJ's Workshop. We're going to get out of the shop today and I'm going to take you guys for a ride. I want to show you what my Can-Am Spyder is all about. I have a lot of people ask me about it, what it's like to ride, what I think of it, compared to riding a two-wheeler. So, you guys know I have my Kawasaki Vulcan. It's a great bike. I love it. It's very reliable. Never have any issues with it. But we ended up getting this Spyder mainly for my wife to ride, so she could ride with me, or if we want to go out together, we can hop on it together. But it is a total different riding experience from a two-wheel motorcycle. And I'm going to explain what this bike is, what I've done to it, and we'll take it for a ride, and I'll explain how to ride it. Just because if you're thinking about getting one of these, and you know how to ride a motorcycle, it is going to be a little bit of a learning curve, just to get a feel for how this thing handles. So yeah, hang tight, guys. We'll get this pulled out here. I'll do a walk around on it, and we'll take it for a ride. Okay, so what we have here is a 2019 Can-Am Spyder F3 Limited Black Edition. All right, and my motorcycle, my Kawasaki Vulcan, I consider to be like kind of like a basic muscle car type of deal. Stripped down, no frills, just fun. This here I consider to be more like a luxury sports car. Okay, very quick, very fun, handles great, but it has a lot of luxuries to it, a lot of accessories. So let me kind of do a quick walk around here for you and show you what this machine's all about. All right, so this is actually my second Can-Am. The first one I had was an RT Limited. And one thing I didn't like about the RT Limited was the way that you sat on it. So this one here, you sit kind of low in it, and it's very similar to sitting on a motorcycle, where the RT Limited sat up higher. It was more like sitting on a quad. You sat on it, not in it. This one you sit more in it, so it's a lot more relaxing. So we'll do a little walk around here. All right, so you can see this has Brembo brakes on it. Stops really great. It only has one brake lever. It doesn't have like a normal motorcycle where you would have a clutch lever there and a brake lever here. Now some of these do come as a standard with the clutch. This one is like a semi-automatic, and the way this works, I'll show you as we're riding, but the way this works, it has like paddle shifters, okay, which is this right here. So you're gonna upshift and then you can pull back and downshift. Now this machine will downshift for you, but it won't upshift. So as you're coming to a stop, you can downshift it yourself, or it'll automatically do it for you, and you'll see as we're riding. All right, so some of the accessories. All right, so I've put on this bar back here for mounting different things. So you can see I have my Garmin on here. You can see I have a cup holder mounted here. You can see I have my phone mounted here also. I did replace the windshield. This one's a smoked windshield. It's a little bit wider, a little better wind protection. We also put this piece on here that you can change the angle of it and deflect the wind up over you and the bugs that are coming at you. I put these guards on here, and you can see I have my garage opener in there, so it's nice when I pull up to the house I can just tap on it and the garage opens up for me. We put the armrests on the back. Now it originally comes with like a grip handle here, which is heated, which is what this switch is right here. I opted to take those off to put on some nice armrests, so when you're riding you get a better place to put your arms and relax. This does have a stereo. You can see there's two speakers up in the front, and it also has speakers in the back. Okay, so the passenger can hear the music also. I did switch this seat out also. I took the factory seat out and we put an ultimate seat in for a little bit more comfort. Now one thing about this is kind of weird. So this seat actually will move up and down a little bit, and there is a switch underneath. It's actually about that big. But what happens is when there's a passenger on the back, it activates this switch. And what it does is it kind of restricts the power a little bit, so you're not driving like a maniac and throwing your passenger off of the back of the bike. When you're riding alone, you can feel it's a little bit more peppier. Alright, I changed out the grips, put some of these nice foam grips on here, and this does have heated grips, which still does work through the foam, so that's good. We have a couple options here. We have the heated grips here, and then we have fog lights here. Okay, those fog lights are actually these here, so that's your regular headlights, and then you have your fog lights there. I put these wind deflectors on here, okay, so you can change the angle. So when it's really hot, you can leave them open like that and the air will come in and kind of cool you off. When it's colder, you can push them this way and that'll deflect the wind off to the side. We also have deflectors down here, same thing. It'll push that air off to the side when it's cold, keep your legs warm, or you can open it up and get some cool air. This one does have the Rotax engine. This one's the 1330, which is the 3-cylinder. The RT that I had the 998 2-cylinder, and I like this engine much better. It's much smoother, more powerful, and I believe it has less issues too. We have some nice floorboards for the passenger and the driver. These floorboards are adjustable, so you would loosen them up and you can slide them up and down on that rail there, just to make it a little more comfortable for you. This thing's got tons of storage. We have a trunk in the front here. We have a storage compartment up here. We have side bags here, which lock. We have the trunk in the back, which also locks. Gives you plenty of room back here. And we mounted another cup holder back here for the passenger. I did change out the sway bar on this. I put a Baja-Ron sway bar, and it stiffens up the front end a little bit, makes the handle a little bit better. I put a belt tensioner. Might not be able to see it, but the belt here up underneath, there's a tensioner to keep that belt tight, to keep it from vibrating. And might be a couple other things I put on that I forgot to mention, but that's pretty much the bike. So we're going to take it for a ride and I'll show you how it handles. So on a regular motorcycle, people that ride know, you have to counter steer when you turn. So that basically means when you're turning left, you're turning the bars right and the bike leans over, and that's how you get through the turn. Well, on these, you turn the way you want to go. You're still leaning the way that you're going into the turn, but you turn the bars left to go left, not right to go left. Kind of counterintuitive, but most of you people will understand what I'm saying. Like I say, it's kind of like riding a quad. So we'll get this thing fired up. Let me show you how this works. Now, what I normally do is I will use this back peg here just to get up on the bike, because it just makes it easier. So I'll put my foot up on here, come over like this, and then once you settle in, then you can move your feet to the front pegs. Okay. All right, so the start sequence for this, on a regular motorcycle, you just turn the key, fire it up, and go. This, you have to have a sequence. So you turn the key, and then your dash display comes up. Now you have to wait. Okay, it's going to do a boot up here. And then once you see that screen, you're going to go over to your mode switch. Okay, and then you hit your mode switch, and it gets rid of that screen. Okay, now at this point, you can see the park and brake is still on. This is your park and brake button there. All right. And what we're going to do is you're going to put your foot on the brake, and this is the only brake for all three wheels. Okay. And then your start button is right here. So once we've done that, foot on the brake. Okay, now one really cool feature about this bike is it also has reverse. What you do is you put your foot on the brake, you push this button, and then you pull back on this lever. So let me see if I can do this one-handed. So we're going to hold the reverse, push back, Okay, so let's get her started back up here. Same sequence. Alright, this is going to be my first time recording with the GoPro on the bike, so hopefully you guys can hear me, and hopefully we don't get too much wind noise. Okay, so let's put her in reverse. Put our maps on here. Alright, and let's take the parking brake off. So put your foot on the brake, hit the parking brake button, it shuts the brake off, and now we're good to go. So let's back up out of here. I think that's one of my favorite features on this bike. Just makes it so much easier. Alright, we're going to put her in gear, and off we go. Now when you're shifting this bike, on a normal motorcycle, you have to release the throttle and get back on it in between shifts. With these bikes here, you just hold the throttle open and just hit the shifter. You never let off the throttle. And I'll show you in a second how that works. Come up to a stop here and you'll see that it'll downshift by itself. Okay, so you don't have to downshift it, although you can if you want to. All right. I really like this 3-cylinder 1330 engine. It's very smooth. My Vulcan reminds me kind of like a Harley, you know, a twin-cylinder thumper, where this feels more like a Goldwing or something. Very smooth. Put the lake here this morning, very pretty. Yeah, it just gives a much smoother ride. This bike does get pretty decent fuel mileage also. The range is in the 30s. My Vulcan probably gets closer to 50 though. But obviously it's a smaller bike, smaller engine, lightweight. But this thing gets plenty good mileage. Alright, so downshifting again by itself. So on these curves, you want to turn left to go left, and then you want to lean your body left. And another big turn right here, so we're going to turn right, lean right. Now, if you're riding slow and normal, you don't have to really lean excessively. The bike will turn just fine. If you're going to be kind of whipping around corners, though, because you want to have a little spirited fun, then you do want to lean into it. And you know, the more you lean into it, the better it's going to handle. So, what you kind of do, like this turn here. So if I'm turning left, what I'm doing is I'm pushing down on my right foot to kind of stabilize, and then, you know, like I say, lean into the turn. All right, let's get on the main brake here, take a ride down by the water.
I say, with all the windshields and the shields that I put on for wind protection, I'm really not feeling any kind of cold air or wind resistance or anything like that. So right now it's early in the morning, it's only about 6:30, and it's about 59 degrees, so it's really not that cold out. But on the colder mornings when you're riding and it's in the 40s, you will feel the cold air on the bike, especially in my hands. With this I have the hand guards, I have all the wind guards, so it's a much more enjoyable ride. So we're going to come up on the lake over here, and we'll take a little look, see how the water's moving this morning. Now this bike does have a 6-speed transmission, and my Vulcan only has a 5-speed. And this bike has over 100 horsepower, where my Vulcan only has about 50. So it definitely has an advantage over that one power-wise. But here we are coming up on the lake this morning. Sun's just coming up. Take a look here, see how it looks. Water's nice and calm this morning. Pull inside the lot here and take a look at the water. I didn't notice that I was turning, but it's okay. I always got to watch out for these people. Everybody drives like maniacs nowadays. Another cool thing about these bikes is they have self-canceling directional steering. Okay, you can see the lake here. It's beautiful. Nice and calm this morning. We'll be getting the boat out pretty soon. Having some fun on the lake. Alright, let's go for a little bit of a ride here. These bikes have a really good suspension too, so you can go over dirt roads and stuff like that and it really doesn't bother it. Hold it right where it's at, and it just shifts right into the next gear. It's really fun when you get on the twisty roads. Like I said, the handle's really great. Now this road here has a couple of big hills, so you can see how it takes on the hills. Riding a little bit cool in the morning, it's not too hot. Nice clear sunny day today. So on my Vulcan I have highway pegs, which I like to use when I'm cruising for a while on a stretch. Just kind of stretch my legs out, but this isn't really all that bad. You do have the floorboards to support your feet, which is nice. And it is kind of extended out a little bit. Alright, so I don't know if you can tell, but we got a couple of good-sized hills coming up here. I'm actually actually in top gear, 6th gear, and we're going to pull right up this hill, no problem, even in top gear. So take a look at this. It does pull up these hills, no problem. Even when you're kind of cruising along and doing like 60, and you come up to these curves, it just whips right around the curves like nothing. You got those two tires in the front grabbing the road, so that definitely helps keep you stable. I do like to ride this bike when the weather isn't all that great also. So sometimes I'll get up in the morning and I'll go to work, and it'll be really foggy, or maybe it rained the night before and the ground is still kind of wet. I feel much safer riding on this bike because you have all that extra rubber on the road, trying to be secure for the road and not have to worry about your tire breaking free and sliding out. Got a couple more hills coming up here. It might be a little too much wind noise, so I have it mounted on my chest here, trying to keep it behind the fairing, just to keep down the wind noise. So hopefully that's working. We'll see when I go to edit. So another cool thing about these bikes is you don't have to worry about when you come to a stoplight, especially if you have a passenger on the back. You don't have to worry about trying to hold the bike up and keep it stable, keep it from falling, because basically you stop and the bike just kind of sits there. It doesn't lean, it doesn't do anything. So it's a very stable situation, which is very nice. Like I say, it does have some power to it. So as we get up and move, it handles the bumps in the road a lot better too than my motorcycle. It does have independent suspension in the front, so it makes the bumps better. Now, one weird thing that you gotta keep in mind, when you're on your bike and you see something in the road, a pothole or something, obviously you want to avoid it. So with the three wheels, one of the first questions I had was, how do you avoid potholes or obstacles in the road? And the way it was told to me was, you try obviously not to hit it with the front or the rear wheels, but how do you do that? So what you do is you try to line up whatever the obstacle is with your knee, and that's going to put it between the front tire and the rear tire. You do have a gap there, kind of like where the line of the road is. So if you're able to do that, you'll ride right over whatever it is and not contact any other tires. Now, if it's an obstacle where you're going to have to hit it with one or the other, you're better off to hit it with the back tire. If you hit something with the front, you have a chance of throwing the alignment out, and then you'll have to get a real line. But if you hit it with the back, it's pretty stable, and you just bounce over it without doing anything damage. So this is a beautiful morning out here. The sun keeps coming up, and nobody on the road, which is nice. As you saw earlier, there are people driving everywhere that really don't care about bikers. So you really need to be careful when you're out here. I always drive conservatively. Nice little turn right here, so that we can into it. Grabs the road really nicely. Little curve here. Lean into it. Over here. And I'm in 6th gear the whole time doing that, so you can really be cruising along and enjoy the twisty roads with this thing. Now, if it doesn't downshift and you want to, put the paddle shift in. Here I just downshifted in a bit. And that'll get your RPMs up a little bit as you get into some tighter corners. This thing shifts really smoothly. No bucking, no hesitation, it just clicks right into gear. shift. So, I mean, it is kind of like riding a motorcycle, but different. I mean, you have to get used to the way the bike handles. It does handle really great. It's just a little bit different. So if you're familiar with motorcycles and quads and things like that, you know what I'm talking about. Like I say, it's more like riding a quad or a snowmobile as far as the way that you have to lean into the corners. First time you get on it, it freaks you out because you go to turn and you don't realize that you have to lean like that, and it feels like it's going to throw you off the other side of the bike, and people get kind of intimidated by that. But once you get the idea of what's going on and what you have to do, then that's when the fun starts. Getting into the little town here, slow down a little bit. At the baseball field, I'm sure that'll be hustling in a little while. It's Sunday, still early in the morning. Everybody's waking up, getting ready to plan their day. Another thing I noticed too is when I'm riding a motorcycle, if it's windy out, I get kind of blown around a little bit. Not so much on this bike, because obviously it's a little heavier, and I have all the wind protection, so it seems to be a lot more stable when I'm riding in windier conditions also. I love days like this when it's sunny and calm and nice weather, you know, not too cold, not too hot. It makes it very enjoyable. My wife and I like to take this for a ride down by the beaches. We live in Connecticut, but we're very close to Rhode Island. And basically the whole shoreline in Rhode Island runs up and down the state. Plenty of beaches. You just get on the main drag down by the water. You can just stop off at so many beaches. Narragansett, and Scarborough, and Tunic, and Point Judith. And there's just so many cool places down there that you can visit. Maybe I'll take a ride one day down to the water and I'll show you what that looks like. But it's just very enjoyable out here. I grew up in the city, and I moved out to the country when I was about 18, and that's well more suited for me. I just love country life. I love being away from all the people and the hustle and bustle, and I just like the peace and quiet. You know, at work all week, you can get stressed out, you're busy, you know, it's just nice to get away. I got the lake right down the street that I can take the boat out in if I want. We got the ocean, I can go out in the salt water. or if I just want to hop on one of the bikes and go for a ride, you know. This is what I call my wind therapy, which I know a lot of people do. And it's just so relaxing and enjoying. I mean, you're out in nature, you're smelling the smells that you don't smell in the car, the fresh cut grass and the salt air, getting the wind in your face. And when you're riding, you're focusing on what you're doing. You're not so much worried and concerned about what I got to do at work tomorrow and what kind of chores I got to do at home and all the things that kind of beat me down during the week. So it's nice just to get out, get some fresh air, just kind of zone out on the world and just enjoy being out here, enjoying nature. And living in Connecticut, there are so many back roads that you can take that are like this. I mean, they're just beautiful back roads. And you can just spend hours just cruising around and enjoying it. So, that's one of the things that brings me happiness in this messed up world that we live in today. Just getting out and getting away from it all. I mean, you're dealing with all this ugliness every day. So you do need a break once in a while. And this is my therapy. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. So I need something to take my mind off of things. And this is my choice. And I'm sure anybody else that rides feels the same way. It's nice too when the wife comes. My wife loves to ride. She knows how to ride also. She won't ride my motorcycle just because it's a heavier bike and it's two wheels, so she would have to stabilize it at a stop and whatnot. And she just doesn't feel comfortable doing that. She knows how to ride motorcycle. But we got this bike for her just because it is so much easier and safer for her to ride. And we like it too because when we go out together, I'd much rather go on this bike because of that, because it is stable, because it has more power, and because it has so much storage in it. So if we decide we want to head down to the beaches for the day, we can pack a lunch, we can pack extra coats, whatever we want to take along with us. There's plenty of storage in this bike. So we can just pack it right up and head out for the day and not be like, oh great, we should have brought this, or now we have to stop somewhere for lunch because we don't have anything with us and paying crazy money just to have a simple lunch. So you can pack a little picnic and find a nice spot down by the water. There's a place down in Narragansett, Rhode Island, that we like to go because it's right on the water and there's a beach there, and when the waves are up, people like to surf over there. My wife loves surfing. She never did it. I'm sure if she was younger, she probably wanted to try it. But she likes to just go and sit. Oh, look at this. We got a whole bunch of geese walking across the road here. All right, we're going to let these guys go. Oh, they got little babies with them, too. So yeah, we like to go and sit down there by the water and just watch the guys surfing, on a beautiful day like this. And who knows, maybe we'll take a ride down there later this afternoon. But like I say, it's a great bike for two people. You can sit on the back. And what I'll do sometimes is as we're riding, we'll stop somewhere and I'll tell my wife, hey, you ride for a while. And I'll sit on the back. And it's actually very enjoyable sitting on the back because you have the armrest, you have a very comfortable seat, you're sitting up a little bit higher than the front, and you can see a lot more. When you're in the driver's seat, you're focused on everything around you. So when you're sitting on the back, it gives you a chance to look around and see things that you don't normally see. I see things all the time, and I'm like, wow, I've been here, X amount of years, and I've never seen that because you're too busy focusing on the road and not what's all around you. So this bike is great, not even just for being the driver, which is a ton of fun in itself, but it's also great for being a passenger. So sitting in a lounge chair, relaxing, you got your music, you got your holder next to you, you got your partner with you, and just enjoying a beautiful day. There are a lot of Spyder clubs. I know there's one here in Rhode Island, and we've done a couple of rallies with them, which is kind of cool. We'll gather at a certain place, everybody will meet up with all their bikes, and then we'll just do a nice long ride through all these back roads. And, there could be 20, 30, 40 of us in a line. It's a great way to meet other Spyder riders and enjoy your bikes and see, what accessories everybody's using and how they decked out their bike. And it's a good time, and then we usually will stop somewhere, either for ice cream or to grab a sandwich or something like that. Maybe stop at a car show, a bike show, and it's just a lot of fun. The weekends, you hope for beautiful weather like this. Living in New England, you never know. Some days it's good, some days it's not. But when you get to days like this, you really have to take advantage of them. I did live in Arizona for a few years, and, good and bad points. So the weather is always beautiful there, but the summer times it's a little bit brutal. I've been riding out there in July and August, and it is very, very hot. You feel like there's somebody in front of you with a blowtorch just blasting you in the chest with hot air. And sometimes that's not too enjoyable. Fortunately, I used to live at the base of a mountain, and on the weekends I would just go up the mountain, and it would be like 20, 30 degrees cooler up there, so that made it much more enjoyable. And then obviously in the wintertime, come January, February, when it's 60 degrees, it's a lot better than, the 20, 30 degrees here in New England. This bike would have been a lot of fun out there, up on the mountain. I don't even know that people were around when I was out there, so it probably wouldn't have been an option. But I did enjoy it out there. But I do enjoy New England too. There is a lot of things about New England that I love that you can't get out in the desert. All this green foliage, the ocean, just the smells that you get out here, the fresh cut grass and different things you just don't get out there. So every place has its good points and bad points, but wherever you live, just get out and enjoy, Find yourself a nice area, a nice stretch of road, get some friends, get together, go for a nice ride, and just enjoy the weekend. Alright, so we're coming back down to the home stretch here. Another ride down by the lake before we get home. You can hear the downshifting. That's doing it on its own. That wasn't me downshifting. Alright, clear. I really love the self-canceling directional scope. A lot of times you see guys on motorcycles, they put on their directionals and then 5 miles later they're still taking a right turn. So this shuts off pretty instantly. on here, like I say, they're Brembos too, so they grab really good. And like I say, you only have the one lever. You don't have the brake lever. You don't have the clutch lever. You do have a clutch lever if you opted for the one with the clutch. But that one brake pedal activates all three brakes. So it is that tight turn again. So we're just going to lean into this like this. And it just grabs and hugs you right around the corner. And lean into this segment here. It's so confidence inspiring because it just grabs. You don't have to worry. You know, that last corner there when I'm on my motorcycle, there is a little bit of sand on that corner, and I always have to slow way down and be very cautious taking that corner, because the last thing I want to do is have my front wheel slip out and put the bike down. I've never dropped the bike, thank God. I've never been in a bad accident. I was in a bad motorcycle accident, but I wasn't on the motorcycle. I was in my vehicle. Kind of wakes you up as to how cautious you really need to be. So, for a while after that accident, I didn't drive for a couple of years. I won't go into the details, but it wasn't great. And I just love riding though. And I've been riding for probably 45 years anyway. You know, like everybody else, starting out with a mini bike, dirt bike. Started out with an old street bike. I had a Honda CB250 way back in the day. And then back in the 80s, I started getting into a couple of new bikes. I bought a 450 Nighthawk, I bought a 500 Interceptor, you know, different bikes like that. And I've just had bikes most of my life. And I just enjoy it, you know, as many of you do. There is a tight turn right here. No problem at all. Just grab and go. So yeah, I've been riding the whole life now. I just really enjoy it. And here's another cool spot on the lake. This is where we actually launched the boat. Very beautiful down here. It's a nice day to take the boat out. But it's all about you know, what chores you got to do and what you want to do for fun. So on my vacation, you know, we'll probably get the boat down here and then enjoy the lake. But right now I got some other things I'm working on. You can see the camper that I've been restoring, and we're getting ready to take that out. There's a Volkswagen rally coming up in Vermont that we're going to go to. So we're getting everything all situated. The camper set up pretty nice right now. Everything that we would want is in there. And everything is functioning properly now. The van's all repainted, the suspension's all done. New tires. Things on to be pretty much front to back. And ready to go. So we're really looking forward to enjoying that. So, you know, maybe we'll have a video on that coming up. But that's about it for today. So I just wanted to show you what this Spyder is all about. If you're thinking about getting one, and you know, some people have never ridden a motorcycle before. I believe you do need a motorcycle license for this. But you know, especially like older people like these bikes, because as you get older, you know, you lose a little bit of strength, and you worry about, you know, dropping the bike and whatnot. And this totally is very good. I mean, I know people like in their 70s that ride these things in the same age that they love to ride. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the trip, and if you have any questions, comments, leave them in the comments below, and I guess I'll catch you guys on the next one.